Hello and welcome to my channel Sober to Makery. I'm Katherine and today I'm here to talk all things Sew Phoenix September 25. So I need to say a massive thank you to my wonderful friends Sam and Rachel from Sew It Sparkle with Sam and Rachel from the French Seams. And they have been the most amazing challenge friends, honestly. I have been so lucky to be able to organise this challenge alongside them. It's been a real team effort and we've really enjoyed working together on this challenge and bringing something new to the sewing community. Honestly, we feel quite blown away by the response we have had and the support we've had from so many people in the sewing community. So this is a massive thank you to each and every one of you. Whether you are somebody that has taken part and entered into the challenge with one of your makes, or if you are one of the amazing sponsors that we've got with all these lovely prizes, if you are someone that has been on our vlogger tour, which we have absolutely loved seeing what people have been remaking and learning about everybody's sewing journeys. That's just been wonderful. And also to people like the Specky Seamstress, who did some amazing bias binding for our challenge, which lots of people have bought and put in their makes. And I know Sam, Rachel and I have all used it in our Sew Phoenix September makes. So honestly, it has just been amazing. And yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to Sam and Rachel. It's been an honour to do this challenge with you all. Honestly, I feel so lucky to have made some amazing friends in the sewing community. And yeah, Sam and Rachel have been marvellous and we have absolutely loved working on this challenge together. I speak on behalf of all of us there with that. I think it's just been an honour and yeah, we just feel so lucky that we've been so accepted with our new challenge. It really has been amazing to see everybody, how they've taken on board this challenge, how they've looked back into their sewing past, whether that was last year, 10 years ago, 60 years ago, 5 minutes ago, and how people are so in tune with the fact that we are learning all the time and that you can use the skills that you've got now to improve something you made, whether it was 2 weeks ago or decades ago. And I have really enjoyed learning about lots of people's sewing past. It's been really interesting to see how people learned to sew, like who inspired them, what their first few makes were. And yeah, I just absolutely loved it. And seeing what people have made now and the skills that they've got or the tools that they're now using or the adaptations they've made to patterns, it's just fantastic. So a massive thank you to each and every one of you. It has been a really inspiring month and we feel very lucky that you've all hopped onto this challenge and you've been there with your open arms and taken it in and really caught hold of it and used it, which is amazing. So what else do I need to say? I've got a notebook here because I don't want to forget anything. So it is now my turn to reveal what I made. So you will have seen in the plans video, which was on Rachel's channel a couple of weeks ago, what I was planning on making. And here she is. She is my finished Susie blouse. So this is the Susie blouse from Sew Over It. And when I first made the Susie blouse, there were a few mistakes that I made and a few things that I needed to change. So I have made those changes. So I will go through the list on here that I've got of all the different changes that I've made, but I hopefully won't miss anything out. So the first thing that I did is on the original pattern I had cut my blouse out at a size 10. Now I hadn't looked very carefully at the finished garment measurements or my measurements for the hip, and in my original blouse the top would sit at my hips and then sort of rumple up in the middle half because obviously it couldn't drape over my hips. So for this one I've graded from a 10 at the bust down to a 12 at the hip. I have also taken a centimetre off each of the bodice pieces to bring the sleeve in, as I'm quite narrow on the shoulders, and to be honest I could have taken that in even further, so I took it beyond the size 8 on there. What else did I do? I removed 2.5 inches off the length because I think that length suits me better and I was confident in doing that. What else did I do? I found that once I'd done the interfacing, and I used lovely woven interfacing this time, not all that horribly papery stuff, Once I had interfaced my collar pieces, they had changed shape slightly. So what I did is I recut the collar pieces because I wanted them to be very accurate. So once I had interfaced them, yeah, I just placed the pattern pieces back over them once they were interfaced and recut them. And that seemed to work really well. So the collar pieces are, yeah, exactly how they should have been. And I did the same for the facing pieces too. What else did I do? Oh, I then took, so I told you that I've taken 2.5 inches off the length. I then took another 1 3/4 inches off the hem. So actually in total, I have taken 4.25 inches off the total length of this. That's quite a lot, isn't it? And then I changed the hem. The hem on the sleeve was meant to be, I think, was it a quarter inch and then a centimetre? No, it was really overlocked and then just turned over a centimetre. And I changed it to a total of 2 centimetres. So I did 1/2 centimetre and then 1.5 turned over. I also used the lovely binding from the Specky Seamstress on the hem, which looks fantastic. I'm really pleased with that. It looks so brilliant on there. I'm really, really pleased with that. And that went in really well. And that gives a really nice finish to the hem, I think. Makes it sit really nicely. So very pleased with that. What else did I do? Oh, so this is something that I thought would make you all smile. I have a bit of a thing. I do not enjoy setting in sleeves. I don't know if you're the same, but they are not my favourite things to do. And I managed to get them in okay. But I must admit, they did not go in perfect first time. I mean, this may be a So Phoenix make, but I am still not the most amazing at setting in sleeves. Practice doesn't always make perfect. You just have to keep trying. And yeah, I had to unpick a couple of stitches on the sleeve in a couple of places, which is quite a handy tip. So when, I don't know if you guys do this, but I find if I set in a sleeve, I'll do it and then I'll look back at it, and if there are a couple of puckers, what I'll do is I go back and unpick, say, 3 or 4 stitches where the pucker is, and then just re-sew that tiny little bit, and that does seem to do the trick. But what I'm trying to say is it didn't go perfect. What project ever does go perfect? But it definitely is far better than my original Susie blouse. And the main thing that I absolutely nailed and I'm very chuffed about is this collar. I got this exactly in the centre, exactly where it should be, and I am so chuffed about that. On my original one, this was shifted over and you didn't have that beautiful point there in the middle of the collar. So I am very pleased with that and wear it with pride now that I've got the collar exactly right. I also used the bias binding as a label inside and put it onto the facing. I thought that was a nice way of making sure that the binding could be seen in more places. And I actually copied that idea from the wonderful Sam, because Sam had done a similar idea and I thought it was a brilliant plan. So there you go. That is my So Phoenix make. I am so pleased with it. I was going to go over the things that I have learned. So I have learned to make sure that I mark the notches and points of reference very carefully on the fabric. That made this collar a dream. So that is what I have learned there. I have also learnt that using bias binding on a hem is really lovely and just makes it look really smart. And I think I'll be using that in a lot of other makes. What did I most enjoy? You know what, I really enjoyed looking back at what I had been sewing when I first started sewing and being able to go back and think, well, I can make that again, but I can make it much better, and to enjoy the process more, having the skills that you've got. I just loved, yeah, going back and doing that. And there were so many patterns as well that I heard from other people on their stories and their videos and on their entries that I thought, actually, I tried that pattern when I first started sewing. So I can't wait to be able to use those when we do So Phoenix September again. So yeah, I've absolutely loved it. What else do I need to say? So it is without further ado that I need to pass on to the lovely Sam and then on to the lovely Rachel. You will get to see their amazing makes that they have made for So Phoenix. Honestly, they are beautiful. And honestly, it's been such an amazing month. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Happy So Phoenix September. And we can't wait to be back again next year with this challenge. Lots of love and happy So Phoenix. Now it's on to the lovely Sam and you get to see what she's been making.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I am so glad that you're my friend because I have been feeling really rotten this week. But because I'm your friend, I know that the thing that I need is a nice hot lemon and honey drink. So I am going to sip on this while I tell you all about my So Phoenix 25 reveal. Can you believe it? It's almost October. Well, tomorrow it's October. I can't believe it. And yeah, we've had an absolutely fantastic challenge. I have really enjoyed waking up every morning, having a look on the gram and seeing how many people have been taking part, and it's been really exciting. So, and thank you. I know everybody else is going to do this as well, but I just wanted to say a great big heartfelt thank you for every single person that has participated, spread the word, and yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're all amazing. So I have got on. So when I did my plans video, I showed you another shell top that I'd made, which was the kind of spacey one. And then I realised after I'd done it that I'd actually made this version as well. And I think this may have even been the first version before the other version. And as you can see, it's not particularly well fitting. It's in another quilting, heavyweight quilting cotton. It's a little bit too long, but do you know what? I still love it. I mean, I don't wear it very often, but I do still wear it because I'm very proud of it. So I wear it with my Rowan trousers, my green Rowan trousers that I did a collaboration with the lovely Rachel from Stitched Up, which I love, but I also knew that I could improve. So I thought, well, you know me, I like to go a little bit extra. So I thought I would do another pair of Rowan trousers to go with my So Phoenix top. So I'm going to switch now to another little video of me in portrait telling you about my reveal. So here you have my reveal outfit. I've got my updated pair of Rowan trousers where this time you cannot see the zip. It is completely hidden, and I have also popped in some of the Specky Seamstress binding into the waistband to give it its little luxury feel, which I love. And instead of putting a button on this time, I put a popper on because last time I needed a button and a, what do you call it, hook and eye. And yeah, and I just decided it was much nicer with the popper button instead. Yeah, so I love the new look Rowan trousers, and I've put them in black so it will pick out the kind of darker background of this gorgeous Beyond the Pink Door carnival fabric. And yeah, and I just love it. I just think I've made the size a better the length a better length for me with the trousers. I feel that the fit is a lot better around the arms. I just, yeah, all in all, the facing is put in better. I've actually hand stitched a loop in the back, just like they had to do in the season 2 of the Sewing Bee. And yeah, I'm just so happy with it. I can see me wearing this a lot. I can pop a cardigan over the top. I can pop something underneath. Yeah, I just absolutely love it. And little planets on my pockets on the Rowan trousers, and a lovely little button and loop on the back of the shell top. So there you have it. What do you think? I love it. So comparing to my first one, which is just a bit too long because I have to lift it up to put my hands in my pockets. So yeah, it's quite a bit too long, and we've got that kind of stiffness around the arms, which means, although I haven't done a bad job on the fit of it, but I like a looser fit around the arms, and the fabric choice has definitely made that better. And you can see I just keep wanting to shift it around. And then I've got quite a crude button and loop on the back. And then my Rowan trousers, although I do love these, as you can see the zip because the hook and eye just doesn't quite hold it in the right place. So yeah, when I made the new Rowans, I made sure that I just offsetted the zip a little bit. And yeah, now they're perfection. So yeah, I have got a little label on these ones as well. So just to give you a little comparison. So I hope that little comparison was helpful. But I just thought I'd give you a little bit more of an up close and personal look at my top. So one of the things that I did on this top was when I put the facing in, I cut a piece and I put the remade, reimagined, redesigned label in. So that had one of each of us in. It was really important that I really wanted to have me and Katherine and Rachel all in my top together. Although, because I've now made it much more me-sized, I think there's only room for one of us, but now there's room for three. And I have an overlocker this time, so I've overlocked all the edges. I feel like I've done a much better job on my darts on this slippery fabric. My hems are on point. The insides are nice and tidy. I have done, even if I do say so myself, I've done a hand sewn loop and I've never done that before. So I learned a new skill. And the other thing that I did that I've never done before, well, never done particularly successfully before, is I did a covered button. And I was just so impressed that I matched it up so the cover button actually disappears. So when it's done up from the back, you can't even see the button. I was very impressed with that. So obviously me and Rachel and Katherine are not allowed to enter the competition. That wouldn't be fair. But if I did enter it, you know for sure that I would do at least 2 entries. So that's why I wanted to kind of sew phoenix my Rowan trousers, and I'm going to use that all the time now. If I make something and think, oh, I could do that again and I could do it even better, I'm actually going to call it I'm so phoenixing it, and then, you know, put it ready for next year, for the idea ready, because I don't know about you other girls, but I'm definitely up for doing this again. So let us know if you would love the challenge again next year. And yeah, I'll just show you my Rowans. So I have ordered lots more of this bias tape because I can see me using it in lots and lots of my makes, and I have popped it in the waistband. I just love the way it makes them look. I've also used some lovely, the little Rosy Cheeks label and a little sparkly label. And as I said, the little shiny popper and these zips. One thing that I actually learned from making this is that I struggle for my local haberdashery getting metal zips. I can get nylon ones, no problem at all, but I find it really difficult to metal ones. And then along comes the lovely Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door, and she does lots of metal jeans type zips. So if you ever need some, pop yourself along, because she's online, and yeah, and she does them in all sorts of colours. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Little plug there. And yeah, and there's my Rowan trousers. And I have to say, having a pair of black trousers in my wardrobe has been fantastic, because even though I am a big, as you know, if you watch me a lot, you'll know that I love black and white, but for some reason I didn't have any kind of plain black trousers other than joggers, and I've got, you know, and a kind of slouchy pair. So yeah, I have so phoenixed my wardrobe. So before I pass on to my lovely Rachel, I just want to take a moment to celebrate the So Phoenix Challenge, really, and to celebrate all of the creativity that has been shown by every single one of the people that have entered, and even those people that have run out of time and haven't entered. I've had such a lovely time on the socials, you know, chatting to people about their ideas and their ideas for the future. And I'm just really, really glad that our little challenge has unlocked a little bit of creativity and a little bit of sparkle in everyone. So over to you, Rachel. See you very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Sam. Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I am delighted to be back with you over on the lovely Katherine's channel for our So Phoenix September reveal. So it has just been the best month. I have loved seeing everybody's remakes and their reimagining of previous makes over on Instagram. It's just been wonderful and so inspiring, and I do hope that everybody enjoyed it. But I suppose now it is my turn to show you my remake. So I will pop in a little video and little pictures here to show you, because I did make my dress, and I think with a dress it's easier to show you pictures and videos, and then I can show you the actual garment on a hanger, so I can show you all the details and all the little tweaks and updates I made to this pattern. So to cast your mind back to our plans and our progress vlog, I made the Colette crepe dress, and this is now under Seamwork, so it'll be linked down below. So it's a beautiful wrap dress, but it wraps at the back, which is very interesting. It has version 1, which is a scoop neck, which is the one I made, and version 2, which has a sweetheart neckline, but version 2 is a contrast tie, and that's the one that I did. So I did a kind of a hybrid of version 1 and version 2. So, and I'm very happy. So I will pop in here the version that I first made in 2017. In the most beautiful quilting cotton, which is a beautiful fabric but entirely unsuitable for a wrap dress. I also used very stiff interfacing, which made it a little bit crispy, so it really wasn't the best dress, and I never ended up wearing it out. I did end up repurposing that fabric for all kinds of crafty makes, so nothing was lost. But I was determined to remake it in a more suitable fabric, a very drapey fabric. So I bought this beautiful fabric from the Crafty Studio, this beautiful pink and white viscose fabric from the Crafty Studio, which just worked perfectly. I used a contrast tie, which again was this beautiful pink fabric from the Crafty Studio, and this is my dress. So I decided to make a size 6 grading to a size 12. So I had cut out the paper pattern originally, but I think before I had made a 6 grading to a 10, I think. So now I need a 12 on the hips. So I was able to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with the pattern piece. So note to self, if you do buy a pattern piece, you're probably better off tracing just in case. So that's the sizing I made, and I think the sizing is very good. I had a look, because the pattern pieces are this lovely tissue paper, I was able to hold them up to myself and really gauge if I needed to add or subtract length anywhere, and I didn't. So I didn't need to lengthen the bodice, which I sometimes usually do, and I didn't add or subtract length to the skirt either, which was great. So, and here it is. I'm very happy. So this is actually the front, lovely neckline here, lovely cap sleeves. It's got bust darts and it's got waist darts as well, and then it's got little darts on the back bodice as well. So then it wraps at the back, so you've got a little gap, which side is it? This side, a little gap in the side seam here to feed your tie through, and then it wraps at the back, which is very pretty, which you don't really see terribly often. So the tie is really pretty. I made the tie slightly longer, so I can actually tie it at the front and at the back if I want to. So it's very pretty at the back. But if I'm wearing a cardigan, because let's face it, this is more of a summer floaty dress, really, isn't it? So if I did want to wear this into the autumn, I could tie the tie at the front, and then I could put a cardigan on as well, which is great. So the big difference I made was, of course, I bound the neckline, and this binding is just marvelous. So if I pull this up here, you can see this is amazing Specky seamstress binding that she very kindly made for our challenge. That'll be linked down below as well. You can buy it as well, and it's got a little star, a little bee, and a little flamingo, and it says reimagined, redesigned, and remade, and I think that is perfect, and it suited the colouring of this make as well, which is great. So I bound the entire neckline and then all the way down the back seam as well. Ordinarily that would have had a facing and then a facing all the way down the back seam as well, and I think it worked out pretty well. I think it's very pretty. It lies relatively flat, because of course I had to trim the seams, because the seam allowance on this is 5/8 of an inch, but of course the seam allowance on binding is about 1/4 of an inch, so I had to do a little bit of maths there, but I think I got away with it, and I think the finish is really pretty, because I really don't like a flappy facing. Speaking of flappy facings, so initially when I decided to make this, I wanted to bind the arms as well, and then when I was cutting this out, I thought, hang on, that's not going to work. So if I show you a picture of what the arm facings look like, can I get you a good picture of them? Let's just see. Yes, so that's what they look like here. These kind of, they almost look like a question mark or something, these kind of squiggly things. The instructions on this book are quite good. So that's, you can see there, G and H, they're the two arm facings. So there was no way I was going to get binding to behave around those curves. That just wasn't going to happen. That really wasn't. So I did cut out the facing pieces. I attached them to the arms per the instructions. they flapped all over the place. It was a disaster. I even sewed down the shoulder seams here. I sewed them on the underarm seam. I just didn't like it. So what I did, I unpicked them. I reduced them to maybe, that's about an inch, I think, a bit less than an inch. I overlocked all the edges and then sewed them in as a facing and flipped them over. Understitched, all that good stuff, which I think gives a wonderful finish. I think understitching is underrated. So now it's a very, very small little sleeve facing, and I much, much prefer that. It's an awful lot more secure. I did actually top stitch it then on the outside, which it isn't called for in the pattern, but I think it gives a much, much nicer finish, and I'm very, very happy with that. So the little cap sleeves are a very, very cute detail. The other difference I made, and this is where I shall turn it inside out, are the pockets. So the pockets just came as a regular pocket piece, so I can pull up the picture of that as well. Here's one I prepared earlier. So L, here's your pocket, and that just slots onto the side of the skirt, and you can see between the notches, but that of course would result in a flappy pocket. So what I did was I got a piece of paper and traced around the pocket and brought it up to the waist seam of the skirt. So you can see here, hopefully you can see, these are my pockets. So this is the waist seam here, this is the center front seam of the skirt, and these are the pockets. So nice big roomy pockets. They're the exact same size, they sit into the same notches, but they extend all the way up to the waist seam. So I can fit keys in here, I can fit my phone in here, and because it's attached to the waist seam, because I've got a waist tie, they're not going anywhere, and it's much, much, much more comfortable. I love this way of doing pockets. So there's a big pocket piece as well. So they're the changes I made. As I said, I didn't have to make many alterations to the fit, just purely the sizing I did need to grade out ever so slightly since the last one. And yes, I'm very, very happy with it. I think it's a very, very pretty dress. You could, I think, make it in a slightly heavier viscose, maybe a twill or something for the winter. I think it would look very, very pretty. You would of course need a cardigan. There's no sleeves in it, but I think you could make this more kind of autumn wintry appropriate as well. This fabric was very, very nice to work with. It really, really was. It pressed beautifully. And of course now I know I just love pink. So this is my dress. So about the whole transformation and the remake, I'm very, very happy. This version feels far more me. It really, really does, with my little tweaks, with the beautiful binding. I forgot to mention I added a label. Here's my label. I decided to put on the outside, which I love doing. And it is a little Rosy Cheeks label. And I put it on the outside of the tie, so you can still see it when the garment is tied. And it says, imperfectly perfect. Because is this garment perfect? No. It's really not. I don't think any of my garments are perfect, but they get incrementally better, shall we say. But I'm always learning, always improving, and I just love showing that, yes, it is perfect, but it's slightly imperfectly perfect. So I love that label, and of course the colours match beautifully with the fabric as well. So I'm very, very happy with this. It's far more me. It's lovely floaty. It's got the pink. It's got this light animal-y vibe. It's got the binding. It's got the wonderful pockets, which I really, really enjoy. So I'm much more confident making tweaks now to patterns and really looking at it. And if the pattern designer tells you to do something, say, yes, I could do that, but I would also like to try this, which is really great, having the confidence to do that. Never be worried about unpicking. Everybody has to do it, and you just have to sit down, put something nice on YouTube and just unpick, and you'll get it right eventually. Just be very careful that you don't trim the edges too much before you unpick. So I'm much more confident doing that, about fitting, about really looking at the finished garment measurements, holding up the pattern pieces, really seeing what suits me, holding it up to other garments I have that are a similar style to see what the sizing is like as well. Taking my time with this, really enjoying the process, cutting out accurately, which I'm sometimes guilty of not really doing, but really laying this out nicely. Ironing the pattern piece before cutting out, ironing the fabric before cutting out, loads of pattern weights. I use a rotary cutter and a self-healing mat to get a very, very accurate cut line. I don't particularly like darts, and this dress has 6 of them, but again I use my heat erasable pen and I pin my darts and I can sew them, and that's fine, and they come out quite nicely. I also have a tailor's ham, which I use that you can press on a curve, which is very, very nice as well. So all these little tiny tweaks have really helped to make this garment much more me and much more wearable, and something that I can be proud of. And yeah, it really has been a phoenix, I think. So very, very happy to give this pattern another chance, and yeah, it was just wonderful. So very, very pleased with how this came out. So I would now like to say a massive thank you to everybody who took part in this challenge, whatever your role was. It has just been the most wonderful month and I have thoroughly enjoyed running it in conjunction with my fabulous, fabulous friends Sam and Katherine. So thank you very, very much, ladies. Thank you to everybody who joined in our challenge. I know for some people it was their first time entering a challenge. For some people it was really out of the box thinking, trying to recreate a previous make, using new techniques, new skills. It's been really, really wonderful being part of your journey as well and hearing all the wonderful backstories and being tagged in those wonderful posts. And then I can see other people commenting on those posts as well. And of course the sewing community is just fabulously encouraging. It's been absolutely brilliant. So you still have time. You have until midnight wherever your time zone is. So you still do have time to get an entry in or another entry. You can of course enter multiple times. You can enter worldwide. So let's get going. You have a little bit of time left and there's still time to enter. So please, please do. For the prizes, so we've had some wonderful entries and we have had some amazing prize sponsors. So I want to say a massive, massive thank you to all our prize sponsors. So the three of us are going to be drawing the winners at random over the next few days, and we will be putting posts over on our Instagram channels notifying who has won what prize, and then those people can then get in contact with the fabulous companies who have donated a prize. So thank you very, very much for that. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody who was involved in our vlogger tour. They've really kept us inspired throughout the month as well. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who entered, but also a huge thank you to people who are still watching from the wings. And I hope that in future now, if a make doesn't go too well for you, you can put it to the back of your mind and say maybe next year that make might need Sew Phoenixing, because hopefully we'll be back with you again next year. So thank you very, very much again for all your love and support over Sew Phoenix September. We've thoroughly enjoyed it and I hope you have too. And we will see you all again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.